Coming up on today's episode of Technoid, the OnePlus 8 event has officially been revealed by OnePlus themselves in an email sent out this morning. I will discuss everything about the OnePlus 8 Pro and all the leaks and everything that has happened, all leading up to this event and more in today's episode. Samsung's ECG feature on the Galaxy Watch Active 2 is still in development, and I'm going to tell you why it is both a good thing and a bad thing. Also continuing with Samsung, supposedly the Note 20 was released on an ad, and I'm here to call bogus on that. I will explain more in today's episode. All that and more, so stay tuned. Hey, what is up everybody? Michael here, welcome back to Technoid. Hope you guys are having an excellent start of the week. You know, nothing new, nothing special. Just stuck in the basement, making videos. Man, I wish I was out right now. But welcome back everybody. I hope you all are having an excellent day. As always guys, today's episode is going to be a little bit longer than normal, so I hope you have time to stay through. But enough talking, let's get right to it. So story number one, first story up of the day. Let's kick it up with the main story, OnePlus. Now as you know, I've been covering the OnePlus 8 Pro and I've been talking in detail about OnePlus, and this year's phone looks to be more of a real flagship smartphone, and I'll explain. But first, let's discuss the big elephant in the room. OnePlus sent out an email basically detailing that the OnePlus 8 Pro event is happening. OnePlus will be announcing the new 8 Pro on April 11th, I believe, the date. On April 14th, I'm sorry. And the event will take place at 11 a.m. in the morning, and you'll be able to see the OnePlus 8 and 8 Pro. Now, taking a look at the tech specs, a lot of stuff was released yesterday before this event was announced, and a lot of information about this phone really is making it a true flagship. While I don't think it'll necessarily be big sales for OnePlus, I definitely encourage you guys to keep your eye on this phone because it is going to make some pretty big waves, if you know what I mean. Alright, enough of the corny jokes, let's get right to it. So the OnePlus 8 and 8 Pro are going to be two different phones. The 8 is going to be just your budget version, kind of if you're on a little budget, and then they have a rumored smaller version which kind of is on the down low, but the Pro one is really where all the word is at. So the Pro is going to have everything that we've wanted. An IP rating, dust and water resistance. It will have 30 watts of wireless fast charging. So you are asking for fast charging on wireless, there it is. So OnePlus finally caved in. It took you long enough, OnePlus, but I believe it was because of Apple. And also, the phone will be housing a 4-camera setup, 3 main cameras and a time-of-flight sensor. The phone is also going to have a 120Hz display with the latest Snapdragon chip and 5G standard. The price is rumored to be $899. That is actually not a bad pricing considering the S20 and other phones want $1,000 plus. And while I do admire OnePlus's attempt to try to round up the market and really trying to create waves, I don't know if it's enough because every time they've released a OnePlus phone, while these big YouTubers are kissing their ass and trying to push the sales, it's not making a big difference in terms of number sales, customers that use the phone on average. But I do like what OnePlus is doing, and I really think people should be giving them the time of day. I really think OnePlus deserves it, and honestly guys, you should definitely check out OnePlus and keep your eye on it because something is brewing in China from OnePlus, so keep your eye on that. Anyway, let's move on. Story number 2, let's transition over to Samsung. So from this point forward, we're going to talk a couple of Samsung stories, and they're going to be a little bit, so guys, please bear with me. The first one, let's talk the ECG feature. Now, for over 6 months, the Galaxy Watch Active 2 has not been able to use the ECG feature that Samsung claims they have built into it, but they just can't turn it on. Well, there was not much word on the feature, but just recently Samsung has released a statement that they are still working on the ECG feature and will be announcing hopefully soon that it will be ready to go. Now, I do admire Samsung for trying to get this thing to work, as of course this would be a big competitive feature that would definitely push it into a class like the Apple Watch. But my main issue with this is that it's over 6 months, and that was the selling point, or one of the selling points of the Galaxy Watch Active 2, was you can have an ECG. Now, I don't think it's a selling point for most consumers, but to have that feature as a bonus, and considering the price you pay, I would think that you would have that thing ready to go. But it looks like it's going to be a little bit of time, guys, but they do promise that they're going to follow through and they are going to release this feature whenever it's going to happen. And I definitely admire to see what Samsung does with this. I'm curious as all hell because, you know, put my finger right there and boom, got an ECG. Story number 2, following up with Samsung, let us talk that Note 20. So yesterday I got bombarded with people. I was on the live stream and I got bombarded with text that the Note 20 was released. Samsung was making a notchless Note. We saw it in a commercial for their airless AC, which I think is pretty unique by all standards. But I got bombarded. Everyone's like, this is the official design. This is gonna be great. I'm here to tell you that that is completely fake. Where do I begin? So first of all, this is a commercial for an air conditioner. Why in the hell would anybody think Samsung would release their own phone, a phone that we don't even know about, in the commercial? That's one. Number 2, prototypes for the Note 20s aren't even in finalization. They're still in prototype mode. So just by saying that this is the final design, clearly is not true. And third, the last thing, if you look at the image in the video, I'm not leaving links to any articles. I'm gonna leave you a link to the actual video, the source where this came from. If you look at that video, you can clearly see the top is photoshopped to hell. Now obviously it's not because they wanna make it look different, but they wanna display a phone. Obviously it looks similar to the Note 10, but they wanna show that it's just a smartphone. But they chopped the top off to make it look distinguishable like it's a regular phone. They didn't do it because this is the Note 20, they did it because it's a commercial. So get over it, it's not the final design. My God, like everybody and their mothers go crazy as soon as one company posts a Photoshop image. But it wouldn't be the first time. Apple. And last story up, let's talk finally the new Tab S7. Now, I've been talking about Samsung's tablet market. They are pretty much trying to rock the game and try to make some waves. I know I say that a lot, make some waves, but that's what they're really trying to do. And they have the Tab S6, the Tab S6 Lite, this A series, and now they look like they're working on the Tab S7. So, to Apple, Alright, I'm sorry, I cannot believe I just said that. But Samsung, of all people, are working on 2 models of the Tab S7 reportedly by filing 2 serial numbers and linking them similar to how their tablets are linked in the serial code. Now, some could say it could be the Tab S6 Lite or it could be their new A series tablet, but those tablets are already out and available, and those tablets already have serial numbers available. So I don't think that this is those tablets. I think it is probably the Tab S7 because honestly, Samsung is trying to keep up with Apple. And while I think the iPad is a much better tablet, I am pretty tempted to check out what Samsung is doing. And I gotta say, Samsung's doing a pretty decent job with their tablets. They have the Snapdragon chip in them. They've got good graphics from what I hear. And also trackpad support, DeX. So let's see what Samsung does with their tablets, and hopefully it is pretty good. I am rooting for Samsung all the way. And that's it for today's episode of Technoid. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, hit that like button. If you disliked the video, hit the dislike button. That helps spread the videos out even more. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and have a great rest of your day, and peace.